Good morning. If you're in this part of the world, I'm in Alaska right now. I know last time I was in Hawaii. I'll be there again next week. So yeah, it's been like super sunny, gorgeous autumn here in Alaska. Next time I come back from Hawaii, hopefully there'll be some snow. But anyway, welcome to Wake the Fuck Up Wednesday. Now, today I wanted to talk about living in breakthrough. Okay, what does that mean? So living in breakthrough, I want to make sure my board was nearby in case I needed it. Living in breakthrough to me means that I'm constantly living in a way where I am challenging my current beliefs, my current thoughts, and breaking through limiting ones to take me to the next place of growth that I need to be in. Hey, Monica. So what I have found, because sometimes people are like, oh, how do you teach this and that? Like with the coaching. And of course I have like all this background in other fields, right? But I really think that for me, living in breakthrough gives me so much material to teach y'all, because when we are looking at, okay, what is my next area of growth? It's not always easy, right? It's not always easy. So when I'm in that, what one of my mentors referred to as the like river of misery between how I think now and how I'm going to think at the point of my breakthrough period, it kind of sucks. It's kind of difficult. And in that period, I am learning so much about my mind and about what I do to get in my own way, self-sabotage, my upper limiting problems, all of that, right? So when we are open to seeing that river of misery as like a thing that is supposed to be happening whenever we're living in breakthrough, we can actually have more breakthroughs in our life. Because here, let me get this, clear it for you. All right, I think you can kind of see that, right? Right. All right, so, we have where we are now, and then we have the breakthrough, right? And, oh, y'all on Instagram can't see me. We have now breakthrough. This whole period is like the river of misery, right? But this is where the meat happens. This is where we take our lives to the next level. We have all these next levels of growth before we get to the breakthrough. Now, in order to get to our breakthrough, we need to have a lot of periods of making decisions, following through with them, and then learning from them. Okay, so, we have to make the decision. We have to implement the decision, not just be like, yes, I'm going to do that. And then we have to evaluate how that went so that we can learn from it and apply it to our next decision. So a lot of people think like, oh, I'm just supposed to be doing shit along this whole pathway, doing to get to that breakthrough. But listen, to get to the to get to taking that action, you have to decide. For example, I decided I wanted to do a podcast probably like early 2019. When did I actually start Rebel Buddhas? I think May 2020. That's kind of a delay. Kind of hit pause on that, right? That's where we waste energy. So you're like, Anna, is what you're saying, I have to hang out in this river of misery like over and over and over for every breakthrough? That sounds fucking exhausting. And you know what? What's exhausting is not making the decision. So hanging out in indecision, right? That's part of what happens. Also, then we say, okay, I've decided, but am I going to do that or not? Like it took so much energy when I didn't start my podcast, when I decided to, because I was like, oh, when should I do it? What's the ideal time? How should I do it? Blah. I was just like hanging out in all of these thoughts instead of actually doing it. So I wasn't implementing. That's exhausting. Then it can be exhausting to implement and then go, that didn't work. But instead of learning from it, we go, fuck that, I'm not ever risking that again, right? Then we live with this fear of failure. Those things are what's exhausting, my friends. I'm not saying it's easy to make all these decisions and like have these difficult feelings. And yeah, maybe it doesn't go the way you want it to. But what's more exhausting is the indecision, the lack of implementing, right? Those are where I see the most energy getting wasted. So, we can think of this in very big terms, but let's kind of bring it down to something more tangible and easy to kind of manage, like vacation planning. Okay, so if you want to go, like I'm a maximizer, go listen to that episode, maximizer or satisficer. But so I really love maximizing vacations. So I will be like, where should we go? What's the weather pattern? Is there a festival going on? When are there farmers markets? And I'll try to time everything right? As if I can control everything, which I can't. But it's like I get so obsessed, right? And then, should I go for 2 weeks? But if we go for 2 weeks, then I don't have to bring my laptop. I can be completely unplugged. But then maybe we won't drop in and then it won't feel as relaxing. If we go for 6 weeks, then I have to bring my laptop. Okay, then we need to make sure where we're staying has fast internet, yada, yada. And it just becomes this whole clusterfuck, right? So it's like, decide and go. That is how we'll know, right? So if you want to go to like Mali and you want to go, I wonder if I would like to hike in the Dogon in Mali in West Africa. And then you're just thinking about it. It's like, just fucking decide, because you're not going to be able to decide if you haven't ever done something, right? Where I see so many of my clients getting stuck and what's keeping them from getting to this breakthrough is first thinking that something is wrong when we're in this breakthrough, which it's not, it's part of the process. But they're also feeling like, I need to know that this is the right decision before I make it, right? So it's like, where am I going to live or what career am I going to have? And then I like obsess. And it's like, okay, I've narrowed it down to 3, but I can't decide. And it's like, of course you can't decide, because they're all awesome. They all fit your mandatory criteria. Now you're not going to know until you actually give it a go. So either go and spend 3 months in each spot and decide, or just move. And, you don't have to like buy a house or anything, but like go and live there and decide, because sometimes we don't know until we actually do it. We're not going to learn what we need to learn until we decide and take action, right? So, with coaching, like, let's say you're wondering about joining Freedom School and you're like, oh, I don't know. It's a big decision. It's a big commitment. It's like, hold up. It says money back guarantee. Try it for 30 days. No questions asked. Also, after that, you can cancel at any time. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? Like, try it. And if you don't like it, don't do it. But how are you going to decide if you've never been coached, right? So it's like, we do this to ourselves. And we're like, I just want to know before I decide. And it's like, the universe will often give us these like fail-safe things. And we still are like, no, I just want to know that it's right before I decide. Now, this doesn't mean to make like haphazard decisions, right? This doesn't mean to just go around going, okay, I'm not going to think about this. I'm not going to waste any time. No, like, you get clear about your criteria, you make your decision, and then you go. But we need to start realizing that this decision, implementation, and evaluation, the more of those we do, the faster we get to our result, right? It's so awesome. Like, so I tell my clients, I'm like, if you really want to get the biggest bang for your buck, you should go through the most breakthrough cycles here. Okay. Like decisions, implementing, evaluating, rinse and repeat. But so many of us stop right here, right before we get to our breakthrough. It didn't work out. This is where massive action is so important. Massive action is taking action no matter what. Okay, taking action no matter what until you get to your goal. Why? Because it's based on this principle that we know is true. Rinse and repeat, go, go. That's how you get to the breakthrough. So where might you be holding back on making a decision right now? By the way, I'm going to tell you that my laptop might die, but I will still be on Instagram if that happens. Apparently it wasn't plugged in last night. But where are you putting off making decisions that are keeping you from getting to your breakthrough? Or how many times do you give up right before and you don't make another decision? You don't try to do it differently. You don't think about, well, what could I have done differently that I can now do the next time, right? It's like driving to the grocery store. We think, oh, okay, red light, okay, bummer. And then we turn, oh, look, a detour sign. Boy, I really want to get those groceries though. We turn and then, oh, someone cut us off. Okay, boom, oh, another red light. What the fuck? I'm going home. We don't do that. We go, this is normal. There's lights. We're going to get stopped along the way. But so many times that's what we do. We give up right before we're about to turn in to where we need to be. So living in breakthrough is embracing this part of decisions, implementation, evaluation, and rinsing and repeating until you get to where you want to be. And when you're living in breakthrough, you are constantly growing and expanding, and then decisions aren't as hard to make. Failure isn't that hard to experience anymore. You know, we need to ask ourselves, why are we so afraid of failure? Because it is up to us how we treat ourselves in failure and what we make failure mean. What's that acronym people like for fail? First attempt in learning, right? You can choose to look at it that way. We don't have to make it mean anything about who we are or our ability to do what we want to do in the world. It is just learning, unless you decide it's not. It's up to you. So we can live in breakthrough to continue our evolution as human beings, take our minds to that next level and really go for it. Maximize this life. And if you want to create amazing things in this lifetime, not just external, tangible things, maybe you want to cultivate the most compassionate heart you can. Maybe you want to forgive. Maybe you want to heal a big trauma. Maybe like whatever that is. If you want to create that, embrace this path that can be challenging. Recognize nothing is wrong if shit gets hard and uncomfortable. And keep going. Go through as many of those cycles, learning from them and doing things differently the next time. That is how we create those results. That's how we live in breakthrough, which is a really freaking exciting way to live, by the way. Right? To me, it is the bomb diggity because we are not bored. We are actually living full out. And I know that I'm holding myself accountable. Now, some of you might say, well, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to decide. Where do you need to grow? That's one question you could ask. Or where am I avoiding making decisions? That's your next area of growth. Because in making that decision, in that process, you will learn so much about yourself. And remember, the more of these you do, the easier decisions are to make, the easier it is to not have things go your way and just be like, oh, well, I'm learning, I'm going to keep going. I mean, for those of you that want to start a business, get used to it because there's going to be so many times where shit doesn't work out and you just have to be like, okay, I guess I'm going to try it differently, right? So I want you to make some decisions today. Pick one thing that you have been avoiding making a decision about and decide something about that. Then commit to taking action. The faster you implement it, the better, right? The more efficient you are at doing it, because then you can go through more of these cycles and get to where you want to be. then ask yourself after you implement, what went well? What should I keep doing? And what didn't? What can I tweak? And don't make it about you or your ability. Just make it about, oh, I did that. That didn't work out. And now I'm going to do the next thing because I want you to live in breakthrough. I want you to create and live a life of freedom, adventure, and purpose every day. Let me see. I've got a chat here. Oh, thank you, Melinda. So she says, so much truth spilling from you. Yeah, so I want this for you. A life of freedom, adventure, and purpose. Okay? You can do this. You can totally do this. Why? Because we are built for it. Humans are resilient as fuck. We can do this. All right? So what are you putting off deciding? Go and fucking do that. Make the decision, do it, learn from it, and keep going until you get there. And if you need help, come ask questions on Wake the Fuck Up Wednesday. Okay? Okay, come join Freedom School. Joinfreedomschool.com. You get coached every week. I can help you through this, okay? Oh, Mitsu, you came on. I'm just about to end. But anyway, I'm going to recap because Mitsu just hopped on. No, I'm just kidding. He can listen later. All right. So I love you all so much. Have an amazing week. Live in fucking breakthrough. You have one life. This is not meant to be a buzzkill. You're going to die. We all are. It's not just you. We don't know when. Let's choose to live in breakthrough. Let's choose to do this hard shit. So we can, like, when we die, it's like, yeah, I lived full out. Right? I rock that. Right? Okay? All right. So much love to you all. Come and join us. Joinfreedomschool.com. Ciao.